You! Stop right there!
Is there a problem, officer?
Let me see your ID. You really work here?
I'm Captain Miles Carter, Delta 276. Just landed from London.
Don't reach for that bag!
That's Captain Carter! He's the pilot!
Next time, look before you aim.
A racist cop stops a black airline pilot in a busy airport, accusing him of impersonating a pilot. But when the truth unfolds, the entire terminal falls silent. This powerful story explores racial bias, accountability, and the power of calm under pressure. Watch to the end. You won't believe who he really was. Like, comment where you're watching from and subscribe for more real, emotional storytelling. Every view, every comment, every share helps stories like this be heard. Hit subscribe and join a community that believes in justice, truth, and humanity. The morning light poured through glass panels of Hartsfield Jackson Airport in Atlanta, the world's busiest airport. Yet somehow, on that particular morning, the air felt tense and watchful. Captain Miles Carter, a 38-year-old commercial pilot, had just completed an exhausting overnight flight from London. His posture was upright, his stride confident, yet there was fatigue in his eyes, the kind you earn after 12 years in skies. He walked through the terminal with his Navy uniform pressed sharp, a silver captain's badge gleaming on his chest, and a black leather pilot's case swinging at his side. But that morning, before he could reach his car, before he could even greet the sunrise with peace, a pair of eyes watched him differently. Those eyes belonged to Officer Bradley Kane, a white cop recently transferred to the airport division. Kane wasn't seasoned, he was suspicious. Of everyone, but particularly of anyone who didn't fit the picture he had in his head. He watched Miles move through the terminal with practiced calm. To Kane, that calm looked like arrogance. That confidence looked like a cover. "Hey, you, sir." Miles stopped. The officer's voice cut through the crowd like a blade. People turned their heads, curious, uncertain. "Yes, officer?" Miles replied, his tone respectful but clipped. "Let me see your ID," Kane demanded, his hand hovering near his holster. "You work here?" Miles blinked. "Work here? I just landed a transatlantic flight. I'm the pilot for Delta 276. Kane narrowed his eyes. "Uh-huh. You expect me to believe that? Where's your proof?" Miles raised his eyebrows. "Proof? My uniform. My badge. My credentials are in my bag if you'd like to." "Don't reach for the bag," Kane barked, taking a step forward, hand gripping the holster now. The terminal went silent. Children stopped mid-step. A woman gasped. "Officer, I'm not reaching for anything," Miles said, keeping both hands up slowly. "You're making a mistake." Kane radioed backup. Possible suspect in Delta uniform, attempting to evade questioning. Evade? Miles hadn't even moved. He exhaled sharply, trying to steady his voice. "Sir, my name is Captain Miles Carter. I've flown with Delta for over a decade. I just—" "Quiet," Kane interrupted. "You people always have a story." Those words hit Miles harder than any shove could. You people. He had heard them before, in flight school, in bars, even from passengers who couldn't believe a black man could fly a plane. But hearing it now, with a gun on his side, and a crowd watching, made his chest tighten. A flight attendant, Sophie Lynn, hurried over from the terminal gate. "Officer, what are you doing?" "That's Captain Carter. He just flew us in from London." Kane didn't lower his hand. "Ma'am, please step back. We're verifying identity." "Verifying identity?" Sophie repeated, incredulous. "He's wearing his name on his uniform." But Kane didn't listen. Two more officers arrived, one of them older, Sergeant Delaney, who instantly recognized the situation for what it was. Spiraling. "Bradley," Delaney said lowly, "holster your weapon. He might be impersonating a pilot." Kane snapped back. Delaney sighed. "Or maybe he's a real deal, and you're about to make the evening news." Miles, still calm, said quietly, "Sergeant, my credentials are in the side pocket of my pilot's case. May I reach for it?" Delaney nodded. "Go ahead, Captain." Kane's hand still hovered near his weapon as Miles unzipped his bag and pulled out a worn leather wallet. Inside, his Delta Airlines ID and something else. A black leather badge that gleamed faintly under the fluorescent light. "FBI." The silence that followed was heavy enough to crush concrete. Kane froze mid-breath. His face drained of color. "You're—" Kane stammered. "You're FBI?" Miles looked him in the eye. "Part-time special liaison. I fly, and I help coordinate federal travel ops. But this morning I was just a pilot, trying to get home." The sergeant's jaw clenched. "Bradley, stand down." Miles continued, his voice quiet but cutting. "You looked at me and saw a threat. Not a man in uniform. Not a federal agent. Just a black man. In a space you didn't think I belonged." Kane's hand dropped from his holster. He stepped back, stammering for an apology that wouldn't come. I didn't." "You didn't think," Miles interrupted. "And that's the problem." Around them, phones were out, passengers recording, whispers filling the terminal. The officer's radio crackled with static, the sound oddly fitting, as if the air itself didn't know what to do next. Later, after the video spread across social media, the headlines were merciless. "Black pilot detained by racist officer. Turns out to be FBI. Kane was suspended pending investigation. Delta issued a public apology to Captain Carter." But the damage wasn't just personal. It was symbolic. Miles sat before the press a week later. The memory's still raw. Cameras flashed. Questions flew. "What do you want people to take from this, Captain Carter?" He thought for a long moment before answering. "I want them to understand that the uniform doesn't protect you if your skin color makes you a suspect. I want accountability, not for revenge, but for progress." Months passed. Kane was dismissed from the force. Miles went back to flying, but something inside him had changed. Every time he looked out the horizon from the cockpit, he saw not just clouds, but all the invisible barriers still needing to be broken. He thought about all the black men and women who had to overprove their worth, who wore excellence like armor because the world kept testing them. And he whispered to himself before takeoff, "Keep rising." Because even when the world tried to pull him down, the sky still belonged to him.